Right, so sorry seeing this video a bit late. It's just the sole reason this anime has a very sparse time to upload, because it doesn't really come out at a certain time. Like, I can actually say, oh yeah, Ajin's out this time, because it basically just doesn't out any time it wants to. I think it's only 2 weeks that it came out as a week anime. I think it just came out as weekly anime. It didn't really come out as like 1 week it's not there, and the other week it is. I can't remember the last time I had them as this kind of anime, but again, it's kind of frustrating because sometimes you're waiting for it, it's not there. So that's probably why I'm seeing this review late. And yeah, this episode was freaking fantastic. It gives enough context for the anime to go forward, knowing what the hell's going on. It gives enough context on the characters themselves, so now we kind of actually can either empathize with the characters or absolutely despise them. In the sense of K, we kind of are more conflicted to him because he's a sociopath. He's not a good person. I already talked about it in the previous episodes of when his sister kind of explained that he doesn't really care about people. He didn't. She kind of explained it, but it didn't really elaborate on that. But this week, basically, it did. It gave us the whole idea that he doesn't care. He is a complete trash person, and it gave us in the most overt way possible. It's actually quite nice how they did it, because someone's dying in front of me. He's like, "Oh, okay, I guess that's all right." And he basically says it out front that I don't care about people. All these emotions I put on are on for show, and it's kind of like, okay. So now we kind of get this like douchebag kind of character, and it's kind of like, okay, I kind of like him a bit more because he's basically just. He's emotionless, but he's got emotions, but is emotionless in the sense that he puts them at the front. In the sense he just basically acts like he cares, but he doesn't. So when, say he was playing with Kai, he wasn't actually playing with Kai, he was just basically felt bad for he's alone, so I don't think he's actually his friend, but then later on he grew respect for him. That's probably why he kind of cares about him a little bit more. Which then it kind of was like, okay, so he does kind of has some sort of sanity to him as a character, but he doesn't really care about the broader spectrum of people. He only cares about certain people. I'm guessing maybe his family's not one of them. Not too sure, because again, I don't really know much about his character, because again, with his sister, I think maybe he did care about her, but then Sato says, well, actually, when I was talking to you, you didn't really sound genuine enough when you actually cared. I was kind of like, so he actually doesn't care about her at all. I was kind of like, okay, this is actually pretty interesting. I was like, as a character study episode, I was like, this is actually really freaking good, because it just gave us enough context on his character so we can move forward with acting as maybe if we care or don't care about his character. This gives us enough material to work on. That's what I like about it. It gives us enough context as an anime just to basically give us an opinion on the character. I mean, yeah, he even suits Sato to actually save the researchers themselves, the scientists, which then made no sense because I guess he didn't care when they died, but he kind of wanted to save them anyway, so he kind of has some humanity to him, but he doesn't at the same time. So yeah, that was basically one part of the episode. Then the other part of the episode was actually the whole revelation about the death of an Ajin. Since now we have basically the whole idea of how an Ajin can die. Sato was explaining the fact that basically, you know how an Ajin, when it loses a limb and it's close to the body, it can actually regenerate the limb. So say your head's chopped off, you can actually regenerate the head if it's close enough. If it's too far away, it can't regenerate the basically the actual body part, because I don't think it can actually register the actual body part it's trying to regenerate. So when it tries to regenerate it, it can't regenerate it exactly the same as it was before. So basically, say you sever a head, like say you sever the head and you move the body away from the head, it won't regenerate the head in the same way. It will regenerate the head slightly differently, because again, it's too far away for it to be able to do it. So what happens is it regenerates a different personality completely, so it's a different person. And I'm guessing the Ajin dies because it's not the exact same person who was there before. I guess they kind of re-die in that sense, because they don't technically kind of stay exactly the same as they were before. Maybe that's what happens. And I thought, as a concept, it's actually pretty interesting, because I guess you probably will see this later on, as maybe some people more people realize about this, that if you kill them, they actually basically become a different person. I think maybe it might be more of a research kind of thing later on in the series, and hopefully they do actually do it, because again, it does kind of explore the whole idea. Maybe they can actually use them for their personal gain. That guy's an asshole with the car. Basically, yeah, hopefully they can actually explore it, because it might just provide some more. Maybe they could use them for different kind of purposes. Maybe they can actually turn people into killers, in a sense. Maybe Sato's trying to murder Kei because basically maybe he actually turned him into a killer if he murders the actual original person and gives him a new personality. So maybe that's why he wants to do it. Maybe he doesn't want to kill him, but he wants to kill him in that regard, so that he actually make a new person out of him. That was maybe why he has a knife in his hand back to kill him. Maybe it's going to sever his head, move his head away from his body and make a new person. Just lose his original person to make a new person, but what does that person become? It's that kind of thing. You want to know what happens, but you can't know what happens because you lose your main character in that way, so I'm kind of like conflicted whether they might explore that idea. Hopefully they do with certain characters, because it would be a really interesting kind of plot point later on to the series if they did actually explore it. But yeah, in a nutshell, was the whole episode, because it ended with basically Kay escaping and maybe his sister kind of being a bit empathetic towards him, but not really again, because I think she cares and he cares about her, so don't know. But anyway, well, that said, happy driver. If you leave a like, do leave a like. It does help me quite a bit. If you leave a sub, do leave a sub. It does help me quite a bit. Well, that said, happy driver. And I'll see you later. Bye for now. Bye for now.